What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Lenny's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit the like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video. Goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Content that got you on a Boston team total ladder, although I'm a coward and barely put anything there on that 5, 6, 7 rung, well, the 6, 7 rung of it. But they're at 6 here going into the 7th inning. Hopefully they can find one more, clear it for everybody involved there. That would be useful. Yeah, premium Discord plays looking pretty decent here as well. And of course, ended up on the lock. Talked about that with the Dodgers. They're up early here, 4-1. Hopefully they can keep that rolling. I was going to do the song version of that, but it's not very enjoyable. This is enjoyable. Betting 5, getting 150 in bet credits over at Bet365, especially if you're in Pennsylvania. They just launched over there in that state. They also have it in Iowa and Arizona. So many different great places. So much fun. Bet365, very reputable, very trustworthy. And when you bet 5, you get 150 in bet credits. What a ridiculous deal. Down at the link below. Oh, and 50 spins on the old slot machines. Only for 21 and over. If you have a gambling problem, please call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. But we got a lot to get to here. A little bit more of a square card. I didn't get any crap from producer Jacob here pre-show because, well, very square card. Not a ton to really break down other than, Andy Pajes just goes yard here. 6-1 Dodgers. That makes me very happy. Yeah, you best believe I'm always sweating, always watching because I'm betting alongside you. I got my hard-earned money at stake here as well. And with that said, I don't have any locks here on Wednesday, but I have a lot of plays. Let's get to them now, shall we? Let's get to the pick. My Minnesota Twins absolutely putting a thumping on 8-3 right now, taking on Kansas City in the bottom of the 6th inning. That makes my heart happy, but we got to face Cole Ragans here, the ace for the Kansas City staff. This is going to be a more difficult one, although Minnesota, very noticeable how insane they've been against left-handed pitching because you do like any type of preset range of anything. They've looked nice. 111 WRC plus against them, just a 21% strikeout rate, but Byron Buxton not in the lineup here Tuesday. Going to be an omission that would be fresh out of the... We can't sing that he's a bad person. But we can talk about Mr. Bailey Ober. I'm not the biggest fan in a lot of ways. He's good. Don't get me wrong. 36% hard hit, 288 xWOBA, 386 expected slugging. But it's just that he gets graded as like one of the best pitchers in baseball. 3.35 expected ERA is really nice. And I just want to see it in some of these spots against ridiculous teams like this who hit fly balls, because Bailey Ober, that is really the main thing that I've had issues with over the course of his career. He's had barrel percentages that lurk around 10%. I think he's 9.7% barrel percentage for his career, 8.8% this season. So he's improved across the board, and I have to be nicer to him. I really, really do. But I think the long ball is always something that can sneak in from time to time in spots like this. And Sal Perez, he's jumping at the top of my model as somebody who could prospectively be getting like plus 400 or better. Like that would be crazy. I have it as a break even of plus 370. So I usually add like 5-10 to that just to make sure. So plus 375 or better, mainly because you don't want to bet things that break even. That doesn't make any damn sense, right? Some people do. I mean, they just want to bet sides and totals all day. Although I'm not going to besmirch it. You know, you get to the end of the season, 3% ROI on sides and totals. I would have taken that for totals for the last 3 years of MLB, that's for sure. Thank God for sides, and thank God for home runs. Let's talk 2 of them here. Also, Royce Lewis going up against Mr. Cole Ragans. I think both of these guys facing good pitchers, and I think that kind of creates some odds that could be favorable here at Target Field in afternoon ball game. Noon. Let's get going. Let's have ourselves a day and go Twins. Yeah, this is always just so square, so damn square. And it's just so freaking tilting because I hate being that guy who just has like repeat bet after repeat bet, but I just haven't really agreed with the odds of this series, regardless of the results. Like of course I care about the results. I want to win. I want to gloat with you, but I always want to be careful because like you get in a rhythm of like, oh, is it something that I'm making a mistake on my end if the same play is over and over and over again popping here? And I think it just comes down to this. Mr. Gordon, Mr. Montgomery. Jordan Montgomery has not been good. Jordan Montgomery has really, really struggled this season. But I do think that there's at least some tell signs that things are going to turn around for him. I mean, it can't get much worse. He did give up 4 earned against Philly, but Philly, a lot of people are going to give 4 earned to them here. Colorado, though, left on left. A lot of the main hitters in this lineup, Ryan McMahon, everybody outside of Brett Doyle rules. He's the one guy from the right side that I'm very, very worried about on a day-to-day basis. But otherwise, I think Gordon is the guy that I kind of want to be attacking yet again. And this has just kind of been the trend with this Colorado situation. Tanner Gordon's been whatever, 1.33 whip, but a 6.15 ERA. I'm not really a big fan of all the fly balls that he's throwing out there, but we also have to keep this with a grain of salt. Ketel Marte has mattered big time, and he's not in the lineup for Tuesday's game. So I'm going to just kind of put this as a like. I was going to lock this, to be actually honest. It was around even money. Arizona on the run line again. That is 3 consecutive days that I'm going to be on this. It didn't win day 1. We'll see how it finishes up here in day 2. Games just getting going. And in day 3, well, let's go back to the well. Temper expectations of no Marte in that lineup. And Pittsburgh, San Diego up here next. Mitch Keller versus Martin Perez. And this is just kind of a no-brainer play on the dog, if you ask me. Mitch Keller, comeback Keller. I really like some of the stuff that he's done here of late. You got to pay attention to. I'm talking about like all these guys. Manny Machado, he wasn't in the lineup Monday. He's back in it here. Let me just double check. Yeah, back in it, batting cleanup here on Tuesday. So lots of injury news for specific spots. Oh, Juan Soto just hit a second bomb. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Eitan Shander, really good play by my guy. Juan Soto going yard, but Martin Perez, yeah, we've seen him bounce around a lot of different teams. But now with San Diego, 360 xWOBA, 488 expected slugging, 9.4% barrel percentage. That's in stark contrast to Mr. Keller on the other side. Now, it's always freaky because San Diego going up against a righty. Do we want to go crazy? No, we don't want to go completely crazy here. They don't strike out against him, and they're second best over the course of the entire season. But such a pitching, I always say pissing mismatch. Be a weird mismatch to have. But Mitch Keller, we're going to back him here, and these Pittsburgh Pirates as dogs, plus 118. I think this one is pretty straightforward if you ask me. Let's get some of that power and responsibility going out to left field there against Martin Perez. He's just not good at this stage of his career. Speaking of Eitan Shander, he also has a package available there in the old marketplace, but I have my own as well. 50% off the first week and month of OS Marketplace if you use promo code Lindy50 down at the link below. You sign up. You find the Lindy package. It should be pretty self-explanatory. Lindy's locks, Lindy's leans, likes, and locks to be exact. And then you can join and hang out with me and ask me questions all the live long day. We also have the OG chat for the people who have been there for a long time in the odd shopper spot. Guys, come kick it with us. Come make some money. We're posting tickets. We are constantly talking betting. People are DMing me all the live long day over there. And I very much am okay with it because, well, you guys are the best, and I really appreciate it. Well, some people don't like me, and that's okay, but they're probably not going to sign up for the package anyway. Let's go make some money, friends. I'm done. This is the worst ad read ever. Lindy50, come hang out with me. I like people, and I like friends, and I like talking betting, and you know what? Whatever. Producer Jacob, back to the picks. Kind of an interesting one. We got the Texas money line here as a lean purely because Tanner Houke's going to be on the mound. There's a couple of different options, and it really changes the complexion of this one. First off, Texas, they were getting the absolute crap kicking out of them here. It is 6-4, though, now, top of the 8th. It was 6-0 or 6-1 there a second ago. And why does that matter? Well, it matters big time purely because, well, Tanner Houck's actually pretty good, but the bullpen really on the Texas side matters huge. Kirby Yates been top 2 like all year, him and Clase 1-2 in my model, back and forth. I don't know how I'd pick a closer if I had both of those on my squad, but they're not on the same team, so I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah. Just a lean here for now. We got to see what happens with that bullpen. We got to see how these numbers move. Would want more plus money. And I also got to kind of see Texas. They have 48 guys that could be the start this one. And it's kind of weird how this works out. We've got a couple of these leans that kind of mirror each other. I guess there's a game sandwich between that I do have a like from, but this one I thought long and hard about. DJ Hers going up against Dean Kramer, and Dean Kramer been decent enough to back in some of these spots. Now Baltimore, I'm not very happy with them. Minus 162. It closes minus 188 over on FanDuel, or it was minus 184, minus 188, minus 190 at some spots. And of course, Baltimore gets the absolute crap kicked out of them. So that was pain, suffering personified. Has more to do, though, with DJ Hers here. And I think this is kind of the main point. I can't pinpoint one lefty in Trevor Rogers who's actually worse, and then not like the lefty who's showing up the next day here. 29% K rate, 215 expected batting average. Does have that 10.4% barrel percentage, but Washington, I think they're sneaky in this kind of a spot. I think if you want to be a little bit cautious or make it a parlay piece, because I know some of you are looking for it, I'm going to lean on the run line for now, but I'm actually more interested in the money line. I just know a lot of people take what I say biblically here at points in time, and I've got some other dogs. Obviously, we talked about Pittsburgh earlier, nearly plus 120, nearly $1.20 there for you, plus money. But here, it's just on the cusp here on both sides of this. I would want better than minus 140 on the run line. I would want better than plus 150 here on the money line, but we could probably get there. Baltimore might take some money. Pay close attention to this one. Hers, I think, a decent back because of the ballpark. I talk about that all the time here. And yeah, somebody put Camden Yards. Yeah, it used to play small. It does not play small to left field anymore. Look at the data. The Cubbies, the Cleveland Guardians, and I really need the Cubs to figure some crap out here because I'm really, really over this. 2-1. Cleveland wins again. The AL Central, again, this is just from a fan standpoint as a diehard Twins fan. Also, JJ McCarthy getting knee surgery. We could have had, I don't know, anybody else there that we drafted, but whatever. I like the under here yet again. We're talking about Cleveland, one of the best bullpens in baseball on a day-in, day-out basis. Taillon and Cobb are just decent enough here, and I do think Cleveland, whatever they touch, turns to gold here in terms of starting pitching. They can basically make anybody work. Alex Cobb is not very good at this stage of his career, but he can still induce some ground balls. The Cubbies aren't that good. They're kind of in another prove-it spot, and Taillon, I think he does just enough here to keep this one together. Been pretty on it with the totals here of late, so let's just keep that rolling. Why didn't I bet 1-0 on Arizona, San Francisco? Literally talked about it on show after show and didn't bet it on Monday. But again, it's Tuesday. We'll see how that one plays out here. Another total that we have. And we're looking at that over, of course, for that total on Tuesday. But anyway, we're on to Wednesday. We've been on Wednesday this entire program. What am I talking about? This one I have not bet yet. And I always say that knowing that it's going to say lean like in the corner. But let's talk through it anyway. Edward Cabrera and Mr. Phillips. I do think both of these guys, we've picked spots for Edward Cabrera. Strikeouts, talked about the Atlanta spots specifically. 28.2% K rate, 235 expected batting average, nifty. Gives up a little bit too much hard contact, and there's some lefties. I don't know if you've heard of Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper, Brandon Marsh. Pretty absurd hard contact numbers. And then from the right side, not exactly slouches with guys like Trey Turner, JT Realmuto. Heard they're pretty good here too. Nick Castellanos whenever there's an apocalypse. Overall, we're looking at backing him, though, against these guys purely because of this. Jake Berger's on another planet. Tyler Phillips, 505 expected slugging, just starting to get the pitch mix and grade him out here. He's a 6'5 dude and has no fastball velo. It's kind of like reminiscent of Bailey Ober to a certain extent, although Ober has better strikeout stuff, I think, going forward. But sweeper, sinker, four-seamer, a little bit of curveball that he's throwing to different handednesses, but it's a 5.18 expected ERA here. You gotta potentially pull the trigger on Miami. If this goes a little bit north of plus 175 on the money line, this is so reminiscent of that Washington spot. I think both of them are very interesting dogs here on Wednesday. If you don't want to know if you do want to know where I land, hit me up on X at Eric Lindquist. Of course, you have access to me in that premium Discord. Hit me up, DM me. Would be happy to let you know. But one of Washington or Miami probably ends up on the card tomorrow. That's terrifying to say out loud. Woo, 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 Brian Woo. And we had some weirdness here. I found a number where I was able to get down on Seattle, and then it got ripped off the board and voided at the book that I made it, mainly because, well, know the rules of your books, mainly because it was a different pitcher. We have something named a Salmons, Brian Salmons going to be on the mound here. He's had 3 appearances. He showed up on the 29th of August here. He's kind of a newbie. And Brennan Hanafy, he was the guy who opened before, but Brian Salmons has been like long reliever type. He's the guy listed at like every book now, and the numbers are just starting to roll in here. It's basically like coin flippy here at the moment, which is weird. I mean, Detroit put the smack down. It was like 15-1 last time that I looked. I'm not sure what it is. Also, Dodgers 7-1. Let's go. Let's go. The haters said it was fake. The haters said I can't win locks, but here we are. Here we are. Don't know what happened to my voice. Also, if they come back and lose, I will never, ever, ever, ever do this program again. Ever, 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 ever. Some of you are really cheering for that now. Anyway, Brian Wu, he is really, really good at the pitching of the baseballs going up against Detroit. One game on Monday, when we saw the Yankees lose by 10 on Monday, we saw, on Tuesday here, we saw Detroit win by infinity and beyond. But I think Brian Wu's the obvious back here. Going to be leaning here, going to wait for some numbers. Anything inside of this like minus 120 type number, or you're betting that. I'm going to bet it. So it's a lean here temporarily, purely because nothing goes in this category that I haven't bet myself. And I will always talk through the lean likes that, need some context if I think the line's going to move or things of that nature. But in this specific spot, definitely want Seattle money. We got St. Louis and Cincinnati up here next, and kind of a weird one. Kyle Gibson, Carson Spires. I have so much exposure to this card early on, and well, I could have had more if that Seattle thing hadn't happened. But either way, under 9.5 is going to be my lean just for the time being. I don't have a ton of analysis for it purely because I'm seeing some different wind directions. I'm seeing Wind Finder. I use windfinder.com pretty much exclusively. I have each ballpark kind of pulled out specifically. And then google.com is very effective as well. I don't know if you've heard of it. You type in the city and it gives you direction, but then you can also find at a number of different places which wind direction it'll be at the ballpark. I have conflicting things going on here right now. If it is not blowing out tomorrow, I'll probably end up on this under of 9.5. We ended up cashing that under in a very nice way, 4-1 there on the on Tuesday's slate here. So I'm very happy about that one. That one was as sweat-free as it really gets, especially when you're talking about baseball in the year of our Lord 2024 over the last 2 weeks. Oh, it's been crazy. We've had a good year, so I'm not going to complain too much. And the locks, we can turn those around here to finish out the year. What is that going to be, 21 and 22? Feeling better. Feel the rhythm, feel the ride. It's bobsled time, and it's also Bet365. That was kind of cute because, ironically enough, it is, Jamaican colors. But we're talking Pennsylvania over here. Bet 5, get 150 in bonus bets, friends, and 50 spins on the old slot machines, the virtual slot machines over at Bet365. Why does this matter? Well, betting $5 and getting 150 in bet credits, it's a ton of exposure. That's a big bet for a lot of you, and I totally understand. You want to be managing your bankroll. You want, hey, I don't know if I can sign up for another sports book. I completely understand, but when you can shop for the best lines every single day, you're saving some cents here. You're saving some cents there. I mean, if you're able to pay $1.50 for, a loaf of bread, I know that's a bad example. I haven't bought a loaf of bread at the grocery store since 1994, but my wife is a lovely human being who takes care of me, and I love her. But anyway, you bet $5, you get $1.50 in bonus bets. Well, I can bet this for $1, or I can buy this bread for $1.50. Well, this bread is $1.70. Well, I don't want to spend $1.70. Same thing applies to sports betting, friends. Save yourself money by having every single sports book at your disposal. So bet 5, get 150 in bonus bets here at Bet365 at the link below. What a freaking ad read session this has been for me. My God. It's only if you're 21 and over. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Back to the picks we go. Yeah, this is a dumb line. We got the Houston Astros. We got the Tampa Bay Rays. I don't understand it. So Houston's bats are starting to come to life. Wake me up inside. Can't wake up. Evanescence, what happened to them? But we've definitely got Ronel Blanco in an opportunity. Mr. Ronel Blanco, the bright spot in a very dim world at the beginning of this Houston season. He has a 9.9% walk rate, ironically identical to his 9.9% barrel percentage, but overall been awesome. 229 expected batting average, 36% hard hit, actually sub 36%, 35.6. And yeah, he gives up fly ball contact, but this is a great pitcher's ballpark. He gets to go up against Zach Littell, 270 expected batting average, 450 expected slugging. And I repeat, these Houston Astros, despite what we saw the one time that they broke my heart, well, a couple times they broke my heart this year, we are definitely going to be backing Ronel Blanco in this spot. I don't understand this line, how we got minus 126. I actually got minus 124, so good on me, friends. But overall, sorry, Mom, I love you, though. Minus 126, Houston money line, I like it. We got Oakland. We got the Mets. METS, Mets. It's weird having this be one of the later games, but these are Wednesdays for you. Joey Estes and David Peterson. Both of these guys have been on those struggle bus this season, and Oakland, yeah, should have bet Oakland. I mean, some of those numbers for a guy for Paul Blackburn there was just absolutely moronic. Would you not agree? Well, that's armchair quarterback. Wish Brett Rooker would go yard here in the last couple because they're up 9-4. Give me a position player here in the 7th. Also, Twins 11-3. Let's freaking go. But Joey Estes and David Peterson, when you see these two beautiful specimens and you start running the data, There's nothing that is going to keep me away from betting this over. In fact, I already did bet this over. So welcome to the party. 8.5, even just minus 110, no juice, no inflated juice for guys with like sub 20% strikeout rates, sub 19% strikeout rates. Both of them terrible ex-Wobas, 325 for Estes, 358 ex-Woba there for the Mr. David Peterson. And yeah, Oakland, Brett Rooker, heard of him, pretty good. Shea Langoliers. Haven't done the, I'm going to swing from the Shea Langoliers yet this year. I'm going to save that one for a more opportune date. Whatever, just bet the over here. I'm not going to give a ton more. What am I even saying today? Who cares what I'm saying as long as the picks are good? And, well, we're going to pump the brakes here a tiny, tiny bit. Mainly because I think by the time you hear this, this could get very lopsided. Plus, I'm kind of nervous. We just had River Ryan be somebody who he's having Tommy John surgery. So the Dodgers, another one bites the dust in terms of these starting pitchers. It's just been brutality. But I think Walker Buehler ends up getting the ball here. And I think Walker Buehler has been broken all season long. I don't know what to make of it. He's been a little bit off. It's some kind of a hip issue. And then looking at David Roberts talking about it, didn't inspire a ton of confidence that he's just all of a sudden back and ready to rock here. He's been at AAA Oklahoma City. He had a really good last start, 1 run, 1 hit, looked decent, but 5.84 ERA, 1.54 whip here on the season. This is really, really tough. Now, I just got done locking the Dodgers. I talked through that entire process, made it like lock. Obviously, I did that a little bit in jest on the side, but explained my process where I was going to lock it and a lot of you weren't. And I totally... yeah, just fade me, do whatever you want. Fade God, I don't care. I just am playing the data. But the data also kind of likes the Dodgers. But Walker Buehler, it's hard to do anything other than use this year's sample size. And as such, it's a stay away. So I want somehow, some way to put money down here, but I just don't trust that. I want to see Walker Buehler pitch. It's just been too rough this season. It's just been a little bit too brutal. And if he's not getting swing and miss, we know Milwaukee against righties have been the bane of my existence this entire freaking season, even though Gavin Stone finding ways to get through this one and feeling really good about it, looking strong through 5. So let's get ourselves some Dodger money later. But again, I'm really worried that after Tuesday, these are going to get steamed up, these numbers, and we're actually going to be talking the Milwaukee side or something else tomorrow if this is like a minus 150, plus 130 type situation here on the Brewers. The Yankees, the White Sox, same thing. Same exact thing. I said there's kind of some mirroring going on in terms of the data here, and I don't know why these are back-to-back games, but the same stuff is popping for me here, and I just can't get behind it at the moment. I just can't get behind it. The White Sox are plus 220. I want to pull the trigger so badly. I really, really do. And this is like right on the cusp of positive EV, but I need better than plus 230. And when you start talking about these massive, massive favorites, well, Eric, why is it such a big deal to be getting 10 cents more here, 15 cents more? Again, it goes back to that same thing I talked about with Bet365, where this is a numbers game. We are trying to get the best prices all the time. And if something moves in a direction that you aren't expecting, it's okay to be passing. And I'm just worried that if I put this on the card and people are like, oh my God, Eric, the Yankees are taking all the money and Nestor Cortez mowed them down, because he is currently mowing them down here on Tuesday, gonna get some upset people out in the stands. So pay close attention to this. Plus, there's no official number on who it is going to be from the Yankees. I have my suspicions. And if it's this dude, I'm going to feel bad that I missed the boat. But Will Warren has been awful through 2 starts, 12 earned runs, like 11 ERA, 1.76 whip. I would want to back the White Sox at plus 230 on the money line. I would want to back them at plus 1.5, right around the plus 140 number. But right now, we're going to pump the brakes, wait for that to be announced, see what happens to this line, check out the bullpens. But, it's not going to matter all that much here because the White Sox have none to begin with. This is really just a price probability thing. So pay attention to it. Money line plus 1.5, just a lean. I don't have the gumption for it right now. Let's check in on that team total ladder. Oh, it's about to get there, I think. 6-4. We're in the bottom of the 8th here. No outs. Bases loaded for Mr. Sogard coming out there. One more run cashes the entire way for the people. That would be very, very nice. And why do I bring it up here? Eric, it's Toronto and the Angels. Also, why am I talking to myself in third-person questions today? The world may never know. But Jose Barrios and Mr. Anderson, Tyler Anderson. I'm not going to back Anderson. I'm just not going to do it here, even though these prices kind of were a little bit alarming to me because I could see myself backing Toronto here. No. But Tyler Anderson's at least avoided the hard hit. There's no lefties to really be concerned about in this Toronto lineup whatsoever, but enough right-handed bats, even though Vlad, he has been better in terms of expected ISO numbers against righties this season. I think we're just going to pass on that side of it. But the Angels side, the team total ladder, I think we could run this one back up to 6. Now, not to the 7 type number here, but look at some of the numbers for today's matchup, because that's starting in like 2 minutes. But Tyler Anderson, I think we're going to stay away from it. But Jose Barrios, 350 xWOBA, 43% hard hit. And then these power numbers. Oh, these power numbers. We are talking about absolutely egregious stuff here. Kevin Gausman, the guy that they're facing here today, but it still applies. I have the same expected ISO numbers here for the righties. 196 expected ISO for Neto against righties. You have Hop, 201 expected ISO against righties. You have Ward, 211 expected ISO against righties, plus the fly ball stuff. I mean, we're seeing like 17 degree launch angle for Ward. I think the home run's probably going to be in play for me against Jose Barrios, so I want to throw that out there for you too. But Angels team total ladder up to 6. I think this is a nice spot, but I don't trust Anderson here. Could talk about this over, but I think we're getting better numbers on these team totals for sure. And very straightforward. These are 2 good pitchers right now. I didn't know what to make of Sherlock Holmes over here. Mr. Grant Holmes. Sorry, Mom, again. Grant Holmes, 282 xWOBA. Robbie Ray on the other side, 301 xWOBA. I mean, my God, we're seeing some really good stuff out of him. Now, Grant Holmes, he needs to be good here for Atlanta coming down the stretch. They need it. They need all the help they can get. Chris Sale's been incredible. But Robbie Ray, I love the strikeout stuff. You can't really be looking at these strikeouts anymore. You're going to look at this under, though, for me. Great ballpark to be pitching in. 2 pitchers who have been on top of it. I think this is a little bit surprising to me. Closer to the 7 number, but on 8, I will just like it. We will call it a day. Thank you, Dodgers. I appreciate you guys. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Head to the comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays that exist on the board for this lovely Wednesday slate. Baseball all the live long day, starting off with my Twins against Kansas City. Excited to see the home run numbers in that one. Premium Discord will be rocking nice and early in the morning. It'll be a lot of fun. So check out Bet365 while you're at it, down at the link below. Check out the OS Marketplace as I'm hanging out there all the live long day. Thank you, producer Jacob, per usual. Another nice, tight, sub 30-minute show. Yay, go me. I'm a real one, I know. Until next time, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Wednesday.